Greetings and salutations, guys. I'm here with my review of the Season 2 premiere of The Last of Us. I wasn't going to do this premiere at first just because I hadn't had a chance to see the episode. I had a screener of it that I didn't get time to get to, and then it's late on Sunday night when I actually watched the episode. But then I just dug it so much. I just wanted to talk about it. So this might be a little down and dirty. I don't even know if I'm going to add any B-roll, or maybe it'll be minimal B-roll. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I thought this was great. You know, these shows are gone so long these days. So it's been, over 2 years, just over 2 years since the season 1 finale aired of The Last of Us. I knew it was a great show. I remembered I loved The Last of Us. It's just watching the premiere again. It's like, oh yeah, this is a great show. I missed it. Having these characters back, having these performers back, has these characters, felt really good. I think it, reminded myself, certainly, what a strong series it is. And I should explain where I'm at as far as The Last of Us background, which is to say, I played the first game before season 1. I never got around to playing the second game. I wanted to, didn't. But I kind of know some major spoilers for it just because people wouldn't shut the hell up about them online. So I know some things, but I'm not going to say them in case you don't know them. That being said, yeah, I really liked what they did here as far as, the 5-year time jump, jumping into what life is like at this point for Joel and Ellie, and the rift between them and that uncomfortable rift as far as where they're at. I think that Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey are so great in these roles, and we really connect to both these characters, and it's, feels bad to have them have this separation, but of course, looming over them is this dark truth of what Joel did to save her at the end of season 1, and the fact that, it feels like she knows, right? Or she has her own inkling about what happened, and that this might be the thing that is just weighing so heavily. I mean, certainly it's weighing heavily for him from his point of view. It's interesting when he says, that he's a good guy. He self-proclaims that he's a good person when we kind of know he doesn't really believe that, or it's probably a front that he would say that. So yeah, I just thought that they played that tension really well. On one hand, yes, she is 19 and kind of have her, I want to be my own person, sort of part of her life. But on the other hand, yeah, there's bigger issues here between them. I thought they did a really good job of establishing what life is like in the town at this point, the sort of council that leads it all, and Tommy's role on that council. And then, of course, the dynamic between Ellie and Dina, which was great. Like, it was so well established. Isabella Merced is such a charismatic, likable actress who's also just like collecting franchises. She's a young actress who just very quickly, it's like, yeah, I'm Transformers and Madam Web and Alien, and I'm going to be in the DCU, and she's in The Last of Us. But yes, she's very charismatic and is perfect to play this character who's sort of this bright, shining light. She's supposed to be the cool girl in town, the cool, beautiful girl that everyone's drawn to, but she's legitimately cool. And she does that very well, but also the fact that she and Ellie have this, natural chemistry, the natural dynamic, very fun stuff. Like when they are going out on that mission together and they're kind of doing the signals to each other and they're miming killing the infected. It's very fun. It's really kind of also helps you understand that, yeah, this is their day to day at this point, as they mentioned. I think there's a line about how many infected they've killed at this point. So yeah, really sell you on the two of them, but also the fact that Ellie's obviously got this big crush that Dina is, reciprocating, or at least she is at this dance when she's, high and is, feeling flirty. So yeah, really liked the establishing of their relationship and sort of seeing what that's like, and we'll see where it goes. And then it's like a funny thing where it's that great moment of Joel to the rescue, right? He like jumps the guy, Robert Burke, who played RoboCop 3, the guy who throws out a homophobic slur at the two girls. And it's a great moment, just to have Joel kind of leap into the frame, but then also then it turns into this sort of shift into this horribly uncomfortable moment because Ellie is mad that he did this and made what was already a scene into a bigger scene. And it just kind of puts bigger spotlight onto their rift, but also puts a spotlight onto her that she doesn't want in this way at that moment. I think Pedro Pascal is really playing this well as far as his uncertainty and his love for this girl, this, who's become his daughter, but he doesn't know how to really approach what's happening between them. And then Catherine O'Hara, man, Catherine O'Hara's the best, and she's always been the best, and she's always been great. But we are kind of in this, Catherine O'Hara essence. She was so wonderful in Beetlejuice, reprising that role. And then the fact that she's on the studio at the same time right now, and she's so wonderful in that. And then she does this part here that's, definitely playing to a different dynamic than we're seeing her usually. I mean, there is some wit to Gail, but she's also pretty dramatic. I mean, that scene where she's sitting with Joel and kind of gets real with him about what happened and the fact that he killed her husband, which we can assume he was infected. Again, I don't know all the specifics from the second game, so you might, if you've played that game, if you're like, oh, here's the deal with that husband. I don't know all the specifics, but I just found that really interesting, and I thought Catherine O'Hara did such a good job playing it. The fact, first of all, I really liked that in this town that she's like the therapist, that it's a post-apocalyptic society, but they are doing their best to be like, let's have a normal life in this town. And that's something we don't see a lot, in on other stories, in Walking Dead or any other stories about we're trying to bring back what society was. We don't see them say, let's have a therapist. We could use that. We're all pretty messed up in this town because we've been through some things. So like the idea of her character. And then I love that scene with her, that big scene with her and what she gets to do and how great Catherine O'Hara is at playing that part. And then of course we've got Caitlin Dever has Abby. Again, I know the big picture. I was spoiled on the big picture about Abby many years ago from the internet. But I love Caitlin Dever. She's been great. I thought she was great on Justified when she was basically a kid. And she's always been just a really strong actress. So, we only get a little bit of her here, but right from the beginning, she's our end of the season. We get that prologue with her before the time jump, and we understand that she is someone who Joel killed someone close to her, and she's on this, quest for revenge. And we understand that in this world, so many stories about a zombie story. I use that in air quotes, whether you want to call these zombies or not, zombie-ish. So much of it about is the infighting of humans and what humans will do to each other and how they might turn on each other. And of course, we've seen Joel, cross this line and kill all these people because Ellie was too important for him to lose. And so not only did he kill all these people to save her, but he might have doomed humanity in the process. And so Abby being this sort of direct result of that, the fact that she's after him because of that for a very justified reason from her perspective, I really like that. I think this is, a table setting premiere. There is a little action I'll get to in a moment, but most of it is just sort of establishing where the characters are, what's going to happen. At the end of the episode, we see Abby has reached the town. She's already, which surprised me. I thought they might wait a little longer, but no, she's already found them, or close enough. But yeah, so I think that's a really great way to sort of establish that aspect. Then we've got the fact that they open up this pipe and we see that there's stuff moving inside, that they might have a outbreak coming that they're not ready for. And then of course what happens on that little trek out, which, I mentioned how it's a great sequence that's showing Ellie and Dina and, the way that they can work together so well. But it leads, and also, by the way, having played the first game, I did love that. I was like, oh yeah, we're in one of the game levels. Even if I haven't played the second game, once we see Ellie going down that corridor quietly, trying to sneak up on that infected, it's like, oh yeah, this is like the creepy scenes in the first game that I played, and I'm sure it's like the creepy scenes in the second game, and I do want to play the second game. I'll get to it. But when we meet that new form, the smarter infected, I thought that was great. First of all, it's just creepy when you have someone crouching around and, walking on all fours in the background. And I did wonder, because it was so out of focus for a while, like, oh, is this just like a kid? It's just a person that she will either, screw up and kill someone she shouldn't, or is it going to be like, some feral kid situation? But no, it isn't infected, but it's this new smarter infected, and it's, learning to hide and to not, just run it, run at its prey. So that's a good development, sort of seeing this this next stage, because where you go in stories like this, as far as what happens after a few years, you can just do the thing like a lot of zombie stories do, which is they start to just be more and more decrepit and collapse, or you can do the, hey, they really are, if this is a sort of biological new species of sorts, okay, they're evolving and they're going in their own new direction. And I think that's really, that's always a fun, interesting way to go with it. So, yeah, I really dug this premiere, just as far as reminding me of what a strong world this is and what strong performers they are. And then bringing in people like Isabella Merced and Catherine O'Hara, who already have established in other roles that they're great, but I think they really fit in well here. I think that they, quickly are so, ease into both these characters, but also the world of The Last of Us. And I really appreciate that. So, yeah, I'm very happy to have this show back, and I'm excited to see where the season goes. And like I said, I know these broad strokes from the second game, but I don't know a lot of the other specifics. So, and of course, I also know that the show is building out things and adding things. So there might have been a hell of a lot of this premiere that wasn't from the game, but I don't know that. But yeah, so far, so good for me. What'd you think? Let me know in the comments. If you can like and subscribe, that'd be great. Be back with more. Let's see, am I going to do weekly episode reviews of The Last of Us? Well, I didn't think I'd do this first one, and then I just was like, hey, this was great, I want to talk about it. So maybe I'll do more. I mean, I'll definitely come back for the finale, but I might do weekly. We'll think about it. We'll figure it out. All right, guys, take care. Thanks.